Hi everybody and welcome back to this next class in the Getting Started with SQL Source Control module. In this class we're going to be looking at how you can link your development database to your chosen source control system using Redgate SQL Source Control. So let's jump on into the VM and see what we've already got set up. Now if I open SQL Server Management Studio, you'll see that we've got a collection of databases here called Redgate University something. Redgate University _ dev, Redgate University _ testing, and Redgate University _ production. Now SQL Source Control is a tool to connect your development database to your chosen source control system so that you can capture changes that are made throughout the development process and put them in source control alongside any other code that you might have already in there, such as application code, for example. So in this case, we're going to link our Redgate University _ dev database to our TFS repository. I'm using TFS today, but you can use pretty much any source control system that you'd like to. Now if I switch over to view our TFS project, you'll see that this repository is currently empty. There's nothing in there at the moment. So what we need to do is create a new folder within this repository and then link up our Redgate University _ dev database to that folder and import all of those objects from the database into the repository. Now to do that is really simple and straightforward. If I head back into Management Studio, all I need to do is right click on the database and then choose Link Database to Source Control. And this is going to open up the SQL Source Control tab within SQL Server Management Studio. Now you can see I've got a number of options here, and the one that we're going to choose today is this top one, Link to my source control system. We also have the ability to link to a working folder and also include an evaluation repository, and in a later video I'm going to show you how you can use these too. But for our purposes, let's leave that top one selected and then click Next. Now here we choose our version control system. I could work with Subversion, or I could work with Git, or as I say, any source control system that has a command line interface. But today we're working with TFS. So let's select Team Foundation Server and then hit Browse to browse our repository and add this new database folder. So under our Redgate University parent folder, I'm going to click Create Folder and then add a folder name, Database, and hit Create. It'll ask me to add my comment, so I'm going to type a comment, added database folder, and then click OK. And this will now go through the process of creating this folder and then allow me to select that folder so that I can link this development database to that source control location. So let's keep that selected, hit Select. And then finally at the bottom of the window here you can see we have an option around development model. Now SQL Source Control allows us to work in two different development models, either a dedicated database development model or a shared database development model. Today we're going to be working with the dedicated database model, but if you're unsure which one's right for you, then in a later video we're going to discuss the differences between these two, and that should help you make your choice. So let's leave that top one selected and click Link. Now once this linking process is complete, you'll notice that the database icon in the Object Explorer will change to a green color, and that shows that the connection's been made. Also, over below the Commit tab, you'll see this helpful bubble telling us that the link's now been created, and that associates the database with our source control system, but to finish source controlling the database, we need to commit all of the objects. To do that, let's click on Commit. And here you'll see a list of all of the objects that exist in the development database which don't currently exist in our source control repository. And this includes all of the tables, stored procedures, views, so on and so forth. So let's add a comment at the top, in this case initial commit, and then click our commit button in the top right. And this is actually going through the process of taking each of those database objects, converting them into their associated textual representation, in this case T-SQL create scripts, and then passing them over to TFS to add as a new version. So now that that's completed, let's switch back over into our repository view and refresh this to see what we've now got in that repository location. So we can see here is that database folder that we added. And if I go within this folder, you can see that the tool has automatically created subfolders for each of the object types. And if we click in further, so for example into the tables folder, we have a .SQL file for each of the objects. If I open this up, you'll see that this is just a plain T-SQL create script. And that's how easy it is to actually add your database schema to your source control repository. So in future videos in this series, we're going to look at adding to this by including our static data, our reference data, and also look at how we can share these schema files with our colleagues so that we can work together on a project as a development team. So thanks very much for watching.